Welcome. Welcome. This is going to be, I don't know, a lot. It's going to be a lot. So if you're watching the replay on YouTube, just pause and come back. Do it in clips, do it in pieces, whatever. But if you're live, hold on. This is not going to be a short live. This is going to have a lot of synthesis in it. It's taken me about an hour just to calm down from what triggered me to go live, okay? And then I decided to clean my board, not this side, but the other side. So there's gonna be a lot that's gonna come through with a lot of synthesis, because if anything else that I'm here for, it's just to bridge clarity within the conglomerate of teachings, or at least the main fashions of teaching in the collective. And right now there's two major sections. There's all kinds of subdivisions in between that deal with cultural teachings and Aborigine and like, I made it original. Nothing's original, but you know, it came through you. Sure. You're a medium. I'm going to turn my music down. All right. So today we're going to do a lot of synthesis. Welcome to the community. Our community is just, hello, welcome. Everybody that's joining. So there's gonna be a large amount of synthesis today. So I'm gonna synthesize the two, I'm not gonna sit right now. I'm gonna synthesize the two main systems, which, you know, they're opposing, but we live in duality. And so there has to be a story of duality. There has to be an us versus them. Like right wing, left wing, red pill, blue pill. Get it? But everything is purple. It's fucking purple. Red and blue come together, make the purple. Okay? The indigo. All right? So it's no longer me versus them, left versus right, Keylontic versus fucking, you know, mainstream. Metatron. This is why I left the cult. Okay? Because I was tired of the dualism. And the Anunnaki, who, like, the Anunnaki, they came, they conquered, they destroyed. No, it's Mesopotamia. It's a story. It's the same story that was taught in Hindu teachings. But then you get people that are in the MK Ultra, okay, like every boomer has through Star Wars, Star Trek, and Hollyweird movies to create ideologies in your fucking mind to create, because they used you like a little pawn on a checkerboard to create the hologram to which they wanted to experience, because the world is a stage. And how do you get the world stage to project an ideal? Well, you implant it into their thoughts through movies and entertainment and suggestive programming. That's how. You always come in when you're ready in it. No, I do not have a schedule. I will probably never have a schedule. Sorry. I work spirit-led. Okay, so the indoctrination and the implant, the MK Ultra suggestive programming, all of that to create the world to which the ego desired to make manifest. That's what I call them, the deletes, okay? The ego, the construct, the entities that and the beings that hold the personality construct, or the construct of evil, which is live backwards. So those that are not living through the heart, they're dying in the lower parts. Okay. Yeah. And all right. I know. I don't do schedules well. I did for a long time, but not anymore. I'm by flow. All right, so we're gonna take the duality out of the Keylontic science. Love the Keylontic science. I've studied all of these systems, the Kabbalah, the Keylontics. They're different systems, but they're one and the same. So just to lay it out right, the Keylontics, what you see is your tree of life. The tree of life based on the Christ spiral, the doubling sequence that's found in your DNA, which is 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, continuing till you get to the 256 qubits. The cubits of the cube, of Saturn, of structure, of the geometry of the body. And then that's where you get the Cabal or the Sephiroth, the tree of life. Let me get the book. I had it. I thought I had it right here. Oh, I do. I actually have it. I was looking for, and I know I have it down here. Somewhere. Of course, I have everything somewhere. Fuck, should have got. I knew I was looking for it to use it too for today, and then I got caught up cleaning more shit. Where's my Cabal printout? Son of a bitch. Of course. Let me see if it's in here. It's not. It's not. Damn it. Oh, whatever. We'll use the book. Use the front of the book. We'll just show it. Okay, the Sephiroth. Do I have another one? It's gotta be in here. Oh, sorry. Piss poor planning leads for piss poor engagement. Please keep engaging, sharing, liking. Tell me where you're at on your journey. If you decide you want to. I'm trying to engage with you while I'm looking for shit that I should have already had out. Damn it. That's an empty one. Keylontic Dictionary, Voyagers. More Keylontic. Oh. I know I didn't throw it away. I have that down. All the time. Is it in this one? No, that's just more Keylontic. Alright. And it's not there. I don't know what I did with it. Maybe I have it in this one. Oh, there it is. Oh, either way, I have it right here. So we can use it for a reference point. In life, you don't add knowledge. We just dissolve illusion. Are you a poet? Are you a poet? I love that. I love that. That's poetry. It's flowetry. Yeah. You are knowledge. You are knowledge and action. You are wisdom. As soon as it gets unlocked, we're dissolving the illusion of separation. Absolutely. I love poets. Okay. So, although I may not be the space or the place for you, because that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to help people with cognitive dissonance and separation mentality. I gotta turn this music down. It's throwing me off. All right. And you're gonna see me step in and out. I have, oh my God, so many books on the floor. Look. Well, that's my bookshelf, but let me put this. Let me give you guys some perspective of what I deal with over here. All of these books, and these are folders, upon binders, upon spiral bound, upon more books. These are all the Keylontic things. Down there, all over here, printouts. Okay. I've been teaching for almost a decade. It's not that long in this life. In this life. There's nothing new to my soul, though. All right. And I was 1,000% with the Keylontic Science. Thanks for the follow. Welcome. Welcome. Hey, welcome. If you're just joining, welcome. It costs nothing to tap the screen. Tip, tip, tap, tap, tip, tip, tap, tap. That helps me with engagement. That helps with view, who's seeing it. Who can join with more visibility. I'm doing this for free. You're not paying me. Okay? Okay. So this is shit that people put on their buy my course, I'll be your teacher, okay, for $333. Join. I'm the galactic historian. I'm going to tell you all of this. Just join my Patreon. Get into my private sector, blah, blah, blah. I'll teach you this. I'll teach you all of the Keylontic stuff. Get in and I'll show you about the Kabbalah. Okay, so I'm synthesizing those for free in a live. And then the replays are available on my YouTube, which there's lots of videos that are lecture, 2 hours plus. Okay. You're welcome. I know some people appreciate it, but I'm just putting it into perspective that this is 10 years in this life of study, of synthesis, not just, this is the way, and if you go in the other way, you're going to turn into a daisy of death. Ah! Okay, this is like integrated, not out in fucking Lopty-Lulu land, okay? Like, so I'm putting into perspective what I'm sharing with you, okay, is a lot of effort and study. Like, oh yeah, you read some books. No, bitch, I read thousands. Thousands. I've spent hundreds. Actually, I've spent thousands, at least in my last 10 years, at least $10,000 in books, in workbooks, in buying videos from Ashiana Dean, so that I could watch her old shit, the Tantri Aura teachings, which if you don't know what Ashiana Dean represents, she is quantum physics before we had Nassim Harameem, and we had Sacred Geometry by Jane 108 and Robert Grant. She is, okay, quantum physics before there was a Bruce Lipton putting it out there, before Joe Dispenza was like, and Greg Braden all came together on the Gaia TV. There was Ashiana Dean, okay, in the early mid 1990s, that she was talking quantum physics, okay? But she had to give it a different name, and that's why it's called Keylontics. So she wouldn't get hit with copyright and go be attacked. This is what the Guardians did for her. She thinks it's an actual language. Love, she's still alive. I have so much respect for her, but she's a channel. She's a medium. She's a fucking amazing channel. But not everything that she's said and brought through is 100%. Okay? And there's duality. Thank you. And there's duality in it, because we can only bring through as much as we've healed within our own genetic templating. And then everybody's used as a beautiful tool for the divine. Just like with Richard Rudd's work, when I talk about this is rubbing alcohol because I cleaned off the back of my whiteboard. When I talk about the gene keys, oh, this is an old book. When I talk about the gene keys, like, I don't agree with everything that's in here, but here's the thing with him. All right. Whew. He talks about globe. He talks about who you have got to get deleted. You have got to go. Anyways, he talks about globe, but he even talks about in his contemplations, which are also in audio form, but you can get the book, his contemplations, all right, which is different than the Gene Keys manuscript. This one's different, all right, but he talks about it like, I don't remember which Gene Key it is, but he talks about how we speak to the level of consciousness to where the people are at, okay, where the good majority of people are at, okay. But those that have eyes to see, ears to hear, and hearts that are open know the truth, all right? And his work is like foreplay into the esoteric initiation. It is foreplay. I mean, it's actually, it's literally called the Gene Keys. He's a master key holder, and I adore his work. But to understand his work in totality, you must read Helena Blavatsky's work. You must read Manly P. Hall's work. You must read Alice Bailey's work. You have to have those 3 key holders. I'll even sugar in a little bit of extra, okay, and tell you need to at least read Walter Russell's The Secret of Life. And that'll give you keys into the Keylontics. And it's a Keylontics. So that, like, as much as Ashiana is like, no, the fib of no chi and the dueling spirals, it is not dueling. There's not a dueling to it. Okay, the Christ spiral, I guess we're getting into it. You need this book. Well, you don't. I mean, some people are different. I synthesize. So, but again, I synthesize everything. So like I said, I've spent thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of hours studying, reading, researching, and synthesizing, going through this fits, this doesn't, this, finding the golden thread, finding the thread between everything. Okay. What's it called? The book or what I do? What I do is called synthesis. It's an ancient art where you use both sides of your brain. It's a fancy word for critical thinking, which is an ancient art. It's philosophia, philosophy, but in action, which would be synthesis. It's polymath, but like in the psychological, emotional, intellectual realms. We're all. So synthesis is what I do. The book is called, I thought everyone does that. No, they do not. They do not. No, they do not. Okay, so getting into the Keylontics. And again, we talked about the Sephiroth, the tree of life, which is based on the fractal, okay, fractal geometry, or the phi ratio. Now, the Keylontics calls that the spiral of death, but it's not. And Keylontics works off of the 12, well, it's actually 15 dimensional time matrix. So here's the difference, okay? The Christ spiral is the doubling sequence. That is the eternal flower of life. It is the eternal spiral. All comes from the eternal spiral, okay? And that's inside of us. That's the doubling sequence that makes up your protein, acid, amino, your DNA, your double helix. That's how they're able to read the ATCG, okay, the amino acid coding. All right, that's based on the doubling sequence. If you did magic squares, 2 squares, 4 squares, 2 squares, 4 squares, 8 squares, 16 squares, 32 squares, 56, and then you can goes on, and 32 is the 64. 64. That's where you get the 64 codons of consciousness. It is the doubling sequence. All right. Now from that, and that's inside of us, that's the eternal, that's the spiral within us. That's the spiral down here. Okay, this spiral that comes, so see this is a plane of inertia, okay? It's a plane of inertia. That's what we're on, is a plane of inertia. Iyasha teaches that we're on a globe. No, we're not on a fucking globe. With a 23.5 degree wobble. There's no wobble. That 23.5 degree deviation just so happens to align with tropical astrology, and that 23 degree deviation also aligns with Draco, the eye of Eltonin, the eye of the dragon. It is a 23.5 degree deviation from being straight up and straight down. So it's like this, standing like that, but we're not. But energetically, there's an overlay that's got us at 23.5 degree deviation. And it's got your brain all in the logical linear left side, because you're working with the left eye. That's my right eye. That's my left eye. The left eye, TLC, left eye. Okay, left eye, logical, linear, keeping the brain locked, keeping the cosmos locked. We are an expression of the cosmos. But anyways, Christ spiral, eternal spiral, mathematics, doubling sequence, DNA. Okay, cool. Now, it comes out through your fucking lens. And what are they? Polarized, right? But they're not from one, but they're fractal. They're 2. So it's fractaled. And that's where we're getting the golden ratio and the Fibonacci. Okay? And that's where it takes from the number before it instead of doubling the number of it. All right? And that's a 1 plus 2 gets the 3. The 3 plus the 2 gets the 5. And the 3 plus the 5 gets the 8. Okay? That comes out. That's what hits. So we have the eternal Christ spiral here. That comes out fractaled through the 1 light, the one stream goes out the Trinity, comes out the 7, the 1 to the 3 to the 7, the most mystical number, especially in geometry. Okay? But that's the phi. That's your phi spiral. It's your fractal. Because inside it's wholeness. Outside it's a fractal reality. Okay? Just a little Einstein. Yes, I am. In my own way. In my own genius. Okay? These two little things just fell out of my book. Exoteric. I'm going to take that as symbolism to read it. Okay. You see I have like 40 different things I'm doing at one time. It's all right. It is organized in here, I promise. Thank you so much. Yes, phi is 1.618 ... continuous. Yes. It is the phi ratio that we see, the golden ratio that we see in all of our holographic projected reality, because it's a fractal of the whole. Okay? And then that's what creates fractals. We talk about it. You're part of my soul fractal. You know? Yeah? Okay, get it? Get it. So it's not duality in the sense of, okay. So the Sephiroth, all right, is a it's literally, it is a path. It is the Hebrew, I don't even want to say Jewish, but it's the Hebrew teachings of the path to consciousness, to attaining Godhead. And there's actually two. You can go down or you can go up. There's the negative and then the positive. Okay, and if you try to get in here and you're not initiated for this, you go down. You're going down. You yelling timber. You about to drown in all kinds of demon energy. Yeah, you don't just get to go in. Anyways, back to the point. So these are not the same. These are not the same. Here, let me get the one that's smaller so I can put it in. They are not the same. This is their 15-dimensional time matrix, which is what Iyasha has brought through in order to enlighten the collective. Enlighten the collective. I know it's over here. Oh, it's in this one, isn't it? Dun, 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 dun. Na, 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 na. Yes, there it is. Okay. Enlighten the collective. Yes, I'm sharing this for entertainment and educational purposes only. All right. All right. So, whoa, I did not mean to do that. There we go. Okay. So that's what her work is about. Well, it's right here, I guess. So, you know, she's talking about the time matrices, okay? And so we're in this time matrix, and we have our parallel matrix, and it's parallel, and then the opposite. Okay, so that makes the 4. Here she's literally trying to break down like the eternal patterning, the doubling sequence, and the difference between the phi and the phi. We do have to go back into wholeness from the fractal, but I want you to think about this. I feel like I'm going to end up losing a lot of people. But yeah, this is about the universal time matrix. Okay, this was about our fractal, about living in fractal reality. Okay. And this is the path into enlightenment that would inevitably take you into this. It's not about running reversals in your DNA. You cannot attain an avatar state of consciousness or fully have Christ embodiment if you're experiencing duality and you're living in separation, meaning that you're seeing things outside of the self. You are God. You are an expression of God. Not that you are God. You are an expression of it. And honestly, and until you fucking embody the Christ fully, you are an individual. And you don't have those powers. You won't get those powers unless you get the fuck out of duality. So that's what I'm here to do, is help people with cognitive dissonance and get them out of duality. Unfortunately, there's so many people that are in the Keylontic Science propaganda and cult that you can't, it's like, So all I can work with are the people that are like wavering. Thank you. Nan, are you in here, babe? Are you? Yeah. Thank you for, yes. Thank you for muting. Thank you. I didn't even know you got in here. Thank you, honey. Thank you. My hair is... You can also kick out people that are literally bots. Okay. So, it's really hard to talk to people that are like inundated in the cult. Okay. So, but people that are in the cult would say that I'm running reversals because I don't bow to the totality of Keylontic science. So, but there's purpose in everything, and that's what I'm here to do, is to pull the purpose in everything. So, amen. Yeah, I know. I was in it myself, but free your mind and the rest will follow. Do the inner work. Like really do your internal working, and don't try to pass go and collect $200 without, you know what I mean, getting the go. You have to do the inner work. But everybody has a purpose in what they're doing. Okay. Okay. So again, this 15-dimensional time matrix deals with the larger matrices and the higher dimensions, or it's more galactic, okay? We're dealing with galactic consciousness, whereas the Cabal, the Sephiroth, is this tree of life, is dealing with your getting out of the animalistic primal mind and into the at least solar consciousness. That's, thank you. Thank you, soulmate. I appreciate the gifts. Getting into solar consciousness, which is like what Christ is a representation of. It's the sun. It's solar consciousness. You know, that's what the ark, Noah's ark. I showed this in my last live, but Noah's ark is a representation of the Mazzaroth. It's another word for it, is the zodiac. Okay. And that zodiac is a representation of the energy of the plane, but it's the zodiac is what we have to embody every incarnation, multiple incarnations. Okay, that's what you're getting your coding from. That's what you're getting your codes from. Okay, this is where, you know, you're in the cube, you're in the physical Saturn's cube. Okay, the coding of the 64 codons of consciousness, okay, that make up the ATCG patterning in your DNA. Now, Keylontic Science, Ayasha's work channeled through, because we are the 7th root race. We are returning to our angelic body, which is the 7th root race, which is the return to the atomic consciousness. Yes, if you unfold the cube, it makes a cross. Absolutely. Yep. That's why we're crucified on the cross, because we have unfolded ourselves, right? We have come out of cube consciousness, and we are moved from planetary consciousness, which is to wield Saturn, to become your own father, to root, which is what Saturn rules, is that root chakra, to root and to yoke your spirit body. Okay. And then you have now mastered the planetary and embodied the Christ, the solar system. So you became a solar being. And that's what the 7th root race is to become the solar beings, and to begin, it ends our human evolution from animal, okay, from the primal animalistic nature of man back into the celestial, which in the esoterics is referred to as the Adam Kadmon, or the spiritual Adam. Okay. And we do this by bringing in more light, and that's known as the codon ring of light, which is gene key 11 and 12. All right. Which is Sagittarius and Gemini, which is Sagittarius is the black hole. Gemini is the white hole. Okay. In the DNA and in the cosmos. I don't know who that is. I'm very interested. I don't know. I'll have to check that out. I don't know who William Cooper is, but I'll have to check that out. Okay, so unfolding the cube, you get crucified, and then you're born again. You're Christed. You become Christ enlightened, a solar being, and you attain rainbow body consciousness. So enlightenment comes first. That's the sixth initiation, is to imbibe, take in the second aspect of the Holy Trinity, which is the Christ. That's sixth initiation. And that's enlightenment to the solar consciousness, the sun, solar consciousness. All right. And then it's about living in that solar amplification. All right. It's a deified state of awareness, coherence, being co-creator, aware of your reality. Your personal solar plexus shifts. That means that the way in which because we know the gut brain, or we should know at this point, there's plenty of information out there, but depending on where you're at in your journey, you may or may not know this. Your gut brain is where the true intelligence lies. Your brain here, your mind, is basically, it does what it's told. It's a squishy, and it does what it's programmed to do until you build the second temple of Solomon. Okay? And that is expanding your qubits, your mind. You're building from your basic antenna, activating the pineal pituitary gland, which secretes rarefied hormones into the blood, and which obviously creates more bliss, more joy in your bloodstream. Okay. And you're amplifying at that point, amplifying your genetic, because your DNA is an antenna. So all of the energy that's constantly moving through is now moving through you. Your sensory expression has more joy, more bliss, more happiness, dopamine, oxytocin. You're just in pure presence, divinity, intoxication with the divine, that enlivened state. And its fluidity is running and flowing through you. You're a more amplified, charged being. Your aura is expanded. Okay. These are all the things that come with the sixth initiation and imbibing the Christ consciousness. This isn't just being like, yeah, bro, I'm Jesus reincarnate, man. You know, none of that, none of that, none of that, not at all. Not one bit, not at all. Okay. Oh, what do you pin something? Yeah, trust your gut. Hence, it's actually your gut is the first brain. Your brain here is the second. Actually, technically, it's a third. So first brain, gut, second brain, third brain. So intelligence, magnetism, it does what it's told. You have to build this. You have to build this up. That's Solomon's temple. That's expanding the qubits. And that's, again, thank you for bringing me back to the topic of what I was communicating about. So by expanding the light, okay, so when we take our genetic resonance, thank you for liking and reposting and sharing. I appreciate it. And thank you for all the hearts and tapping on the screen that cost you nothing. I have 104 people watching. That is amazing. Thank you guys all for being here with the synthesis. You know what is up. Yes, thank you. Yes, I'm here. This is what I do. I teach this. I synthesize. All right. So the genetic coding. So once you elevate out of your shadows, and there is no skip to my loo, skip. There's no spiritual bypassing it. There's no med bed that's going to fix it. Okay. It might be like taking a shot of tequila. It might take the sting of life off, but it doesn't actually fix the fucking problem. Okay. So the subconscious is what you have to reprogram, and you do have to give yourself new experiences. And you have to respond differently to the happenings. That's what changes the subconscious. We have to go in there and give new experiences. Whether you're visualizing it in your mind's eye, how this shitty situation went, this is how I wish it would have gone. Yeah, I can see it happening, because your brain knows no difference between what is actually happening and what isn't happening. So if you're imagining it, just like when you're having sex, This is for entertainment and fun purposes only. TikTok. Just like when you're having sex and you're visualizing like, oh yeah, oh yeah. And you're in your mind, you're like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. I mean by yourself, sex by yourself. I mean, you might even have to visualize something else whenever you're getting laid. If they suck. All right, anyways. You visualize it and you're like, poof. Yeah, but you're not actually having sex with that person. And you're not necessarily in that position. But yet you just blah, 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 like you were, right? So your brain doesn't know any different. Your senses don't know any different. So can we go into our subconscious and change the shit? Sure can. Totally. That's called contemplation. That's active meditation. Get it. Read it. The art of contemplation. Contemplation is an active meditation. So you think about it and you change the scenarios that happen. That's mind over matter. Or you wait for the lesson, the pattern to show up again, and then you respond differently. And then that'll change it. So, but anyways, once you get out of the shadow realms, which you cannot fucking bypass, you have to either do it intentionally or allow it to show up in your reality. Respond differently. And most of the time we wait for it to show up in our reality. And it is what it is. I learned shit the hard way. Like, real hard. I have my North Node in Taurus. I'm stubborn. I didn't want to go. No. I had lack of self-worth. That's what my fucking problem was. I'll be honest. Yeah, I offer coaching for sure. Links are, I can't say where they're at, but you know where they're at. Okay. I'm not allowed to say my website, but the links are where you know they are, underneath my picture on my page. So anyways, whenever you work through your shadow consciousness, your patterns that you don't know, or your ancestral behaviors and beliefs and shit like that, once you override them, okay, then you operate from the heart coherence. Okay, you start responding to life instead of reacting. Then it brings in more light. Well, where's that light come from? Well, everything's ultimately already within you, because everything is a fractal of the whole. So we bring more from within, which is the center of the toroidal field within you, within the earth, which is the black sun, the black Madonna. Okay? That is the black hole to our sun, which is the white hole in a planetary level, or this chakra, because we're in a cosmic being, heart chakra. That is ancient gnosis. That is not, I made this up out of my motherfucking ass. I actually did have the epiphany, but then I came across readings, teachings, books that I was like, yes, fuck yeah, I fucking knew it. Like, no shit. You'd open that level of your awareness. Of course you're going to know it. When you get to it, then you know it. Because it is you. You're a cell within a greater self. A greater organism. Thank you guys all for the new follows. Thank you all for following. Look at that. We're at 127 in the live. Yes. I love it. This is resonating. Thank you guys for all hitting that screen and giving me some love and sharing. And I got 9 people share that live already. Yes. Thank you so much. That's awesome. This helps a lot of people out. This helps a lot of people out. All right. All right. So, okay, we bring more light in. That's gene key 11. It's located in Sagittarius. It is literally known as the codon of light, the city. It's the city of light. It's the shadow of obscurity. All right. But the city of light. And that connects us to 11 is the galactic center, specifically the galactic center. Alpha Sagittarius. Yeah. What's it called? Centauri, something like that. The galactic center, not the great attractor. That's Gene Key 14 or codon, hexagram, gate 14. And this is sidereal astrology, not tropical astrology. Tropical astrology is that overlay. It is that 23.5 degree deviation, what they call a globe wobble. But it's not. It's your brain being, the cosmic mind being shifted 23.5 degree out of fucking direct horror line orientation with the fucking Polaris, with the crown, the pole star, the soul star chakra, or the cosmic being. We're in the heart. The earth plane is the causal plane. It is the heart, earth anagram for heart. We're not making the game too hard for us to comprehend, okay? Gaia is its spirit. Gaia is the, like what Keylontics will refer to it as, like you have Earth is the 3D, Tara is the 5D, and then you have Gaia is the 8D. But it's not. It's just Gaia is the spirit. Okay, Earth is its physical heart, physical form. Why did we fall from Atlantis? Why am I all over? We are, though. We're doing it. I don't give a fuck. I'm flowing with this shit. Why did we fall from Atlantis? We didn't fall. It's a descent of consciousness. We knew what we were doing. Well, the Atlanteans and their evil crystal doings. So what? We were going to do it. It's a human experience. We're getting out of group consciousness and going into individuality. So we descended from the heart. It means we broke our own heart. Well, guess what happens whenever you break your heart? When your heart gets broken, you sound like you don't love again. You learn. You create boundaries. You become self-aware. The fuck we're doing as a cosmic being. We're out here. We're cosmic teenager is what I call it. Well, God's all-knowing and perfect. Only because of data feedback. We're just in a lower oscillation. Everything's already been done, but we're having the motherfucking experience. We've descent into this aspect of the cosmic being. It's a wave. Anyway, so we descended to have individuation. We broke our heart. So we become fucking self-aware, so we don't be like a cosmic teenager out there with our imagination creating fucked up cosmic realities in the multiverse. Duh. It's simple. It ain't that hard. We can make it complicated. But oh my God, the Anunnaki came in with their draconian homeboys and fucked up humanity and, bred with them and squirted on their fucking humans and made aboriginal looking fucking weirdos. No, let's not. How about no? No. The Sumers have a fucking creation story. Woohoo! The Egyptians have a fucking creation story. Woohoo! Hindus, creation story. Wow! Okay, yeah, we created it all. Let's not be in separation. Let's not be in cognitive dissonance. Inanna, Venus, Aphrodite, Venus, Roman, Aphrodite, Greek, Inanna, Sumer, Isis, Egyptian. Come on. Let's not make it complicated. Yeah? So we descended. Okay? And then before the Atlantean, we had Lemurian anyways. And that's when we were a semi-etheric. And that's where the original Adam, spiritual Adam, was developed. It's the blueprint, template. And that's the Pleiadian consciousness. Of course we were semi-etheric beings. Wow. Kick out Lucy. Okay? We are semi-etheric beings with Lemuria. And that's what we're going to return to. But we had semi-etheric and then the first form, which is Adam and Eve, going into the garden where they were naked and then they became clothed, or they ate from the tree of good and evil or knowledge. Okay? That is literally just taking form. Apple. Going in. Oh, you can't see it. Let me turn my chair here. Okay, so do I need to move it closer? Probably. And I've got a glare on it. Trying not to have the glare. Okay. We're doing a great synthesis today. Is everybody following along? Awesome. Welcome into the live. Okay, so again, this is when you're seeing the tree, this is Eve, okay, Adam, and the atomic consciousness coming from the semi-etheric form, eating the apple, the fruit, which the body is the fruit, which also holds the seed atom, the original spark within your coccyx. All right, but this garden, this tree with the serpent, okay, that serpent is the sine wave, which again is a symbol of our toroidal field. And again, I'm gonna draw it out here over it. That is your toroidal field, torus field. Okay, energy going out and around makes the fucking apple. You've all seen Santos Bonacci talk about it a million times, okay? Oh, this is not working on that board. It's fine. You get it. You can kind of see what I'm showing you. This is the apple coming into form, okay? Going from the Lemurian spiritual atom, spiritual being, the semi-etheric being that we began as, okay? And then taking on the mineral-based density, okay? And choosing to have the earthly experience, which is earth, or it's vegetable or mineral, vegetable, animal, and mind or human. And that's the 4 elements. And then you are actually the ether. That's the original spark that remains with you or your soul spark, your eternal essence that remains with you everywhere. And that's why you're an eternal being, an immortal being. Your soul, your essence doesn't die. It just reincarnates. Okay, that's what the story of the Adam and the Eve are. Okay, and that's the beginning of the physical, okay, form. And then Atlantis is that physical form. And yes, we had a higher level of IQ, all of us, and we worked in group coherence, and we obviously used the minerals of the earth to create societies. And then we descended lower, and we went and we experienced separation. That's the 5th root race. That's the Aryan root race. And then from the Aryan and its 7 sub-root races, which were all relatively close to each other, India, Aryan, India, not white people. India is Aryan. That's what the true Aryan began as. Okay? From the Hindu, and you've been every fucking race, so don't come at me with your race war shit. That's stupidity. That's ignorance. Whatever lineage you're in right now is because you needed the motherfucking lessons and the gifts that are in each one of those lineages. Okay? None of that shit. We've been every fucking incarnation. All right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be here at this time. And, all right, so the Aryan root races, their sub-root races, which were Aryan, Sumerian, okay? And then you have the Egyptian and the Turks, Persians, all right? All around that area, they're sub-root races, okay? And then you have the 6th root race, which broke from that, becoming the 6th root race were the Tartarians. But we're also all of the indigenous races, which where you see the Mayan, okay, and they overlap. The 6th root race began after the 5th root race. That 7th root, the 5th root race and its 7 subroot races. The 7th subroot race is the beginning of the 6th root race, which is the shamans, and those are the beings, and that you can see shamanism across all heritage, from Australia to Asia, Thailand, the Polynesian Islands, Japan, they're Russian, Celtic, Irish, whatever. Over here in America, Scottish, the whole U.S. history is fucked up. The Moors, okay, the Incas, the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Hopis, all of them. These were all part of the, they weren't the lost tribe. They are essentially a lost tribe, but I'm not going to get into that one right now. But the 6th root race was the Christ reign, okay? And that's when they were the bridge, the shamans, okay? And all the shamanic lineages that go along with that, which we're still seeing to this day, still alive, because we are the 7th root race, which is the completion, which is why the Keylontic Science has come to us. Okay, why she's channeled it through. Now, she did channel it through with duality. That's what I'm here breaking. Okay, so if you've just you're into it. If you're just catching my live, the replay will be available on YouTube. All right. I've already broke down like the difference of the spirals, and there's not a dueling spiral. All right. And the tree of life and the Sephiroth. Okay. The Sephiroth. This is about the conditioning, the path from animalistic primal mind to Godhead. Okay. And that this and this are not the same fucking thing. Okay. This is your individual experience going back into the whole. Right? We're not dueling. There's no daisy of deathness. There's no tree of death and tree of life. No, none of that stupid shit. But it sells. You understand? That's what sells people. Oh, well, the Anunnaki and her Voyagers book. I've got it. I've got it. Okay? I know. I fucking know. I've read it. Not only did I read it, I printed it and taught it. I know. Oh, but you didn't read Voyagers too. But I did. But I did. But I did. I've read everything that she's ever put out. Okay? Came down from nothing, then shot back up to... Okay? Okay, well then you don't get it. Pop them. Nan, pop them. Pop two. I'm not here to waste my breath on degenerates. Okay, so... this is the time matrix to which we exist. This is a galactic overlay, a planetary, wandering stars, which are not planets, but they're wandering stars, okay, that connect to the human, okay, plexus system. This is a map of that plexus system, okay? This is a greater map. This is a greater map of the cosmic, okay, or galactic overlay. All this is about is understanding the greater time matrix as we shift and take on our light body. Let me get the book out for that one. These are great. I'm trying to get to that one. I have it. Obviously, I have everything. Okay. So, oh, that's why I had the big KDDL in it. Okay. So the light body. Let's just start with that. That's over here. And I'm trying to not get my stuff like everywhere and all over the place. I am trying to have it localized. Okay. Oh, shit. I knew I had the damn printout of this thing. I freaking knew it. I was looking all over for one in a different book. Either way, they're different. They represent different things. This is your coding. This is beyond. This is the more light. Again, the more light comes from within. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. The more light comes from within. That's the black sun. That's the eternal sun within you. Or what her teachings, you would call it the Iumbi. All right? Which is right above your belly button. Right above your belly button is that Iumbi. It's your umbilical cord, Iumbi. Again, the guardians, what she calls the guardians, okay? Her guides, source, her spirit guides. All right. Internal creation. She's very much Venusian. Internal creation. Alhambra means red dirt. The Alhambra Council, red dirt. If you're familiar with Keylontic Science, it's just Anyways, it's the internal creation is guiding her. They gave her a completely different language that you have to have a fucking dictionary for. You have to have a dictionary for to understand what her words mean. Okay, but they did that so that she wouldn't get hit in this 3D reality with copywriting and getting attacked by science and all that stuff. So she's created her own lore, her own words, which is great. It's fine. People run around talking in like tongues from Lord of the Ring and from Dungeons and Dragons all the time. It's no different, but it is all quantum physics. Sorry, just got it. Who is this? Her Ashiana Dean. I'm synthesizing Metatronic teachings and Ashiana Dean's teachings, so that there isn't cognitive dissonance, at least in the people that are following me or that have come across both and been like, what do you mean dueling spirals? What do you mean like Metatronic? But Metatron, the Metatronic cube is the ether, okay? It's the dodecahedron. It's the ether element. And so, like, yes, it's a consciousness, but it's not negative. It's not condescending. It's like, she's like, oh, we're part of the Melchizedeks. Anyways, there's just a lot of duality, but duality sells and it gets people to buy tickets to the movie and gets them engaged, gets them learning. That's part of the bump, you know, the high. Like, oh, I'm special. I'm going to get in. I'm going to know. No, you're not special, but sure. You know, I don't want people thinking that they're running reversals. Reversals are your shadow consciousness. That's what it is. A reversal is running shadow consciousness. It's not about if you're running at 11:55 radius, do 11 circles clockwise and 55 fucking counterclockwise circles rotation. None of that shit. None of that. I mean, she's talking about oscillation ratios. Fine. But that's literally running shadow patterns of your ancestral belief systems, running duality. That's a shadow. That's going to burn you out. So coming into unity consciousness, understanding, okay, and not having the dualistic, everything is against, and you're going to run fucking Metatronic currents if you study, you know, the Kabbalah, if you read any of the golden ratio. No, that is duality purely, okay? So I'm popping the lid on Keylontic Science and just bringing common sense and synthesis in, okay? And understanding everything has a place. Everything has a place and a reason for it, okay? Now, her teachings are amazing, and they teach you ultimately about, so her beginning work, her Keylontic Science teaches you, or Keylontics 1 and 2 are about light body. So her work goes from light body mechanics into internal creation mechanics. That's where she's at nowadays. And so essentially it's about understanding your light body. Let me give your light body. Oh, thank you. Hey. Oh, I can't touch it. All right, anyways, thank you. So it's about understanding your aura and then what it connects to. Okay, which you have your inner chakras that deal with your planets. Okay, your internal chakras deal with your planetary structure. See, these are planets. Okay, planetary structure. That's your inner chakra system. Oh, it looks like I've been live for an hour now. Cool. Okay, sorry, I had to touch the thingy. Thank you. So this is your chakra, your aura, and that connect your internal chakras connect to the planetary structures, and then you have your etheric body and which is part of your astral body. Okay, the lower emotional body, and then you have a lower mental plane. We have a lower mental plane, and then you have the causal plane, which is the heart, and then you have the true mental plane. And then beyond that is your creation planes, okay? And then that's where Iyasha's work would come in, okay? When we're dealing with morphogenetic chakras. That's where her 12 or 13, it's actually a 15-dimensional time matrix, but there's 12 that are within the physical time matrix. That 12 corresponds to, where's the blueprint for that one? Well, I just had it. Well, it's going to connect us to this world, the God world, consciousness, and, but also, yeah, where's it at? Your brain, the 12 nerves in your brain, and I'm looking for another visual here. Oh, there it is. Damn it! Come on. Again, that's the 12. Okay, 12 dimensions. That's going to be your 12 dimensions. Okay, and that 12 dimensions is going to connect you to your 12 cranial nerves, your 12 cranial nerves. What does this look like? Okay, that's what this is. The Sephiroth is also symbolizing this. There's a lot of symbolism that are that we work off of. Okay, you just got to see all the pieces that come together. I'm giving a short. I'm just giving a brief look at things. I'm not dissecting and going into depth in this call. I can break down all of these teachings, obviously, and go into depth in it. And if you want that, that's cool. Just let me know. I need to know. So her teachings talk about I can put this up. Yeah. They talk about, well, and that's another point too. It goes into the organ. So her teachings go from light body. I guess we'll move this out. Because each nerve, each nerve in the brain, okay, is connected to a different part of the body, like the intestines, the lungs, the ear, right? What is this one? The inner ear? Yeah, the inner ear. The inner ear, the mouth, okay, or the tongue, okay, different parts. This is the throat, the thymus, all these, it has different functions. It's one of these optical nerves, but the whole point is to activate the 13th, which is the soul star chakra, which is below your feet. Okay, the 13th dimension, the soul star chakra, which is what the 13th sign is going to be all connected to with astrology. All right, but that's in the cosmic mind. The 13th is activating the corpus callosum. So that's the whole brain that activates the left and the right side. And that's where we get hemi-syncing or synthesis thinking. Hemi-syncing. All right. And the corpus callosum is that milk and honey that drips into your bloodstream continuously. Okay. That gives you elevated states of embodied awareness. And it increases your genetic, your gene, like your antenna. The DNA is the antenna. And so all of the energy, and it expands your aura. Well, doing all the work, anyways, expands the aura, but the heightened DNA, okay, expands what it is that as energy moves through you, because you are just this. I don't have the image. Give me an image. Fuck. You are this. You are this huge aura. You are this huge aura. Okay? And so the more of your morphogenetic chakras that are activated, the higher mind, right? So once you get out of the thymus or the 8th chakra, you go into the your 8th and 9th chakra, so the thymus and the thalamus. Thalamus is in the brain. And then you go into like the galactic chakra, okay? And your earth star. So that 13th, again, 13th is the earth's core. The earth's core, that black sun that's at the bottom of your feet, that's where the 13th chakra is. And then that connects you into the 14th, and well, that's part of the primal light and sound fields. So it expands. So once you're operating through the higher morphogenetic chakra field, beyond your personal little tiny ass 6-foot aura, little dinosaur arms, your little energy field, then you're going to be connecting into planetary, yes, but stellar consciousness. Okay. And that connects you into the wider. And so your DNA is now oscillating, fizzing, and fusing with more light, because now you're pulling in from the 13th chakra, which again is that black sun, the internal core processor, and that energy is pulling up from internal core processor, and it's filtering through you, and your DNA, the antenna, is not operating from shadow consciousness. So you're not seeing the world as it's happening to me. No, it's happening through you, for you, right? And your projected reality is full of more peace. You do not experience the same shit that every other person does, especially people that are in deep states of grief, of depression, oppression, suppression. Like they're in all of this shadow consciousness. You do not experience that in your personal reality. And they're all womp, womp, wompity, womp, womp. Believe me, I've been womp, womp, wompity, womp, womp in my life as well. But that's not where I'm at, because I did the shadow work. So my personal reality is bubblicious, baby. Like the fuck. Okay, it's bubblicious. It's great. But I did a lot of fucking work. I didn't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Didn't stop. I wasn't trying to get rich and famous. I did not want to be in cognitive dissonance, man. I wanted to know what the fuck this was. And I wouldn't stop until I figured it out. Even when I got the Keylontic Science, I had already been started with Esoterica, with Alice Bailey, and the Gene Keys with Richard Rudd. Like, just because I had the Keylontics, but the whole groups, all those groups, like, you can't do both. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, oh, it's the golden dawn, the golden spiral. I don't give a fuck. It's like about emotional maturity. What you mean? Oh, you're going to run reversals. I'm not running reversals. The fuck is all this projection? Well, because they're brainwashed and they're in cognitive dissonance. And I was like, I don't want to be in cognitive dissonance. I didn't want to have separation consciousness. It's like, how are we all one? But you guys believe about draconians? Like, but you believe about Anunnaki? Like, what? Haven't you read anything? No, that's not the truth. I'm like, I'm pretty sure all of them have a creation story. No, that creation story is wrong, because I read Voyagers. Because I read Voyagers. It's like, well, I read Lord of the Rings, and that doesn't mean that it's true. You know, hello. Who is it that you mentioned? Yeah, Ashiana Dean. I love her. Like no disrespect. Like, I love her. But yeah, like the brainwashing that comes from this, okay? The alien theory, alien space wars, Star Wars, it's not. So we play out the shadow here. Anything on the causal plane, the heart. Okay, anything above the heart is incoherent. It's coherent. It's harmony. So the higher dimensions are in harmony. There's no Armentenia 12th dimension was blown to smithereens by the Draconian, Anunnakis, reptilians. No, that is Star Wars, Star Trek shit, okay? The cosmic being isn't at war with itself in that sense. We are living out distortions of our own self-awareness. The Draconian is Draco. It is the dragon that sits right beside, right angled, literally right fucking angled, okay? A square, right angle, 30 fucking, anyways, right angled to Polaris. It's the dragon that's round the pole. The snake, it's Draconian, and it's a consciousness, okay? Eltonin is the eye of the dragon. It's the left eye of the dragon. So, but it's part of the cosmic being, cosmic mind. All of the celestial aspects, all of the stars make up the cosmic mind. Just like you have all of these neuron synapses in your brain, all right? And you have these 12 nerves that have different functions in your body that they're connected to. So too the cosmic mind does. Okay, and those stars, celestial consciousness, stellar consciousness, twinkle twinkle, is sending out pulses, pulse waves, okay, in the cosmos. And if the receiver, okay, you are in distortion and you don't know where you are, what you're doing, where you're going, or where you came from, then you sound like an AM radio in your radio station that you're trying to get into on a drive through the deserts of fucking Texas. So whenever you get your fucking antenna, your DNA into orientation, right orientation, you sound more like an FM radio station. You can actually hear some music. I said this, that, this into the that, and okay? And the bop, shaboobop, whatever the fucks, okay? But then you get XM radio, you're like, shit, I'm going to put on some YouTube music. I got Spotify. I got Pandora. I pay for that shit. No commercials over here. Psh, throw on the playlist. That's XM radio. That's acidic frequency in your DNA. That's your DNA allowing for the waves that are coming from the stars and the planets, which are your energy centers, the fallen angels that mated with the man, the wives, the women of man, or whatever the fuck. Anyways, your DNA starts putting out higher wave, so you're alchemizing the energy. We're always alchemizing the energy. And now what you experience is XM radio or your playlist, your Pandora without commercials. And you just get your whole playlist rolling through Texas. Like, damn, I'm already through the state. Damn, that was a good playlist. Or was I high? Because I got high. Because I got high. Da 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 da. Okay? And yeah, you are high. High on life. High on light. Okay? So, but not only that, like, when you start channeling the stellar consciousness, or you're integrated in your 12th dimensional structure, you know, you're connected to all 12 dimensions of the self, the multidimensional self. You know, you are one with your multidimensional self. Like how, you know, I have these connections, but you don't see me bringing through large bodies of work like Yasha does, right? That didn't happen for me. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm scripted to be this is what I'm great at, which is like taking in extremely large bodies of teachings and synthesis. Now my codes are, my sun sign, okay, is Gene Key 44 in sidereal astrology, and true sidereal, but sidereal, where the planets are at in the real time without the fucking 23.5 degree deviation. Okay, because I'm not trying to operate through Draco and the left brain and just be all fucking 2,000 years ago. Not happening. Okay. But anyways, mine's Gene Key 44, which is the city of synarchy. It's the coming of the queendom. It is the gift, essentially, of synthesis. And that's what I do. It's teamwork, technically the gift of teamwork, but it's synthesis. It's about synthesis. All right. And that's also, thank you. It's also my core, my vocation in my Gene Keys hologenetic profile, which means it's my unconscious 88 days prior to being born. Vocation means job, my career, what I do. Okay. It's also my core, my vocation in my Gene Keys hologenetic profile, or my unconscious Mars placement 88 days prior to being born. My design, if you're into human design, which I do. Okay. I work with human design and sidereal astrology, Gene Keys, Keylontic Science, and fucking quantum, psychology. But that's what I'm here to do. My vocation, my core, right, is 44. My sun sign is also 44. So I synthesize. That's what I'm coded to do. I'm operating through my highest expression of light. All right. I need some water. Or coffee. I want to finish drinking this before it gets too late. Now, Keylontic Science, Yasha's work went from light body mechanics, okay, light body mechanics, teaching about Rouge code, scalar, standing scalar waves, the particle, antiparticle, partiki, particum, partikai. She basically, again, like I said, she's got her own words to describe quantum, what they're talking about in quantum physics today. She was teaching about quantum physics before it got big like it is this day and age. She did this shit in the 90s. All right. So she went from talking about light body mechanics, the structure beneath the standing scalar wave, which is our plane of inertia. We're not on a globe. Where you see the globe is, again, it's a visual sphere, okay? And that's like with all of the toroidal field, okay, going around the toroidal field. If you just saw that, it would look like a sphere, but we're actually existing, and this is Walter Russell's work in here, okay? When you're reading The Secret of Light by Walter Russell, he breaks down, because where's the good example of this one? The plane of inertia. All suns generate an incandescence by two black rivers of evacuated light, which flow centripetally inward toward their centers by the way of their poles. Conversely, darkness of space is radiated from two incandescent rivers of the white light, which flow centrifugally from the sun's equator. Okay, and that's what I've drawn out here. You can also see this over here. Okay, and the positive, the negative, I did erase his 040 or 404 method, but anyways, that's what this is talking about. What he is referring to here in the book, again, the sine wave, which if you're familiar with astrology, you know what this is. This is, again, the pattern, the sun going along the solar ecliptic, okay, on our plane of inertia. But that's where all things derive from. That's what he's talking about, centripetal, centrifugal. So you have the downward centrifugal, you have the downward, no, centrifugal is upward spiral, the Christ spiral, the doubling sequence going up from eternal whole, doubling on itself, going up, and then you have pedal down, although that's not necessarily up or down, but we're going to go with that, okay? Centripetal spiral going down, and that's the fractal, okay? That's your phi ratio. But again, it's the forces. It's the buoyancy. It's the forces that are, creating that plane of inertia. Thank you guys all for the love, for the likes, for the comments. The electric universe is curved motion is spiral. Where motion ceases, curvature ceases. Okay, again, that's his 404, okay, the sine wave. And again, this is dealing with like everything, all things. It's minerals, it's sound, it's all things. It's nature, the process of nature. But he even draws it out in the cube, okay, to show the sine wave moving through. Like if we were to create a fourth dimensional cube, okay, that's the tesseract. Okay, this is his rendition of the tesseract and how that wave of from zero goes out four positive, 4 negative, back to 0. So 4 states of matter. That's what this is about. From 0 to the 4th state of matter, which is plasma, and then back. Okay? I'm sorry if I'm missing comments and then again, this goes along with the music scale. Okay, he's got the music scale in here, all of the things. This is one of the most important, vital books that any person should fucking own, especially if we lose electricity and grids go down. You want to have a fucking awesome library. You know how bored you're going to be if you can't always just scroll? Come on, have a good library. You know, be your local librarian, right? Wait, what's the book? I have all of these books in the link in my bio. I have a whole, like in my link tree, I have a whole list of books, esoteric books, and then the whole Gene Keys saga. But this one, and if you can, support a single mom over here, buy it from my Amazon shop. Okay, if you're going to go to Amazon and get it, then go to my shop, because that's where I have it. Okay, but this one's The Secret of Light by Walter Russell. Amazing. Polymath. All right. So yeah, when we awaken the Christ code, or that Christ within us, we all get our gifts. And he went into a coma and came out with all of the keys to life, you know, and Nikola Tesla was like, lock it up, bro. Lock it up for 1,000 years, man. They don't know what to do with this. He's like, they're coming at me. They're going to kill you. Lock it up, bro. So then he put it all in like the Divine Iliad, which is a great, like, thank you so much. It is poetry for the enlightened mind, if you will. There's a lot of eluding, like Shakespeare and Dante allude to the holographic reality. The the Divine Iliad 1 and 2 allude to his work that you find in the Secret of Life. It's hilarious. But anyways, Yasha her work went from external light body mechanics and understanding, like, you know, the Rouge Code, or the 12, the pillars, and she's got her own story and lore behind it. It's like modern day fan like anime for people that are on their spiritual journey. You know, mixed in there the alien invasion, draconian, but draconian, like I said, is the draconian consciousness. You know, and that is an aspect, and that's part of the 10th and 11th dimension and her galactic, you know, universal time matrix. But nobody's taken over by that. Like, even though it looks like it on the world stage, like, are you really taken over? Do they have your hands behind your back and you're blah, 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 blah? No, you're not. You're safe. What you see is the world stage. What you see is what people have consumed and have been told to consume. And then you have David Icke's out there, all of that pushing the propaganda. And then you have the Billy Carsons pushing the propaganda. You understand the world is a stage. But who actually controls it are the ones that are not on the stage. You're creating the reality. That's how powerful you are. We are. But they do have puppets. We have puppets out there playing roles. Can you get out of the cave and stop staring at the shadows? Or are you going to keep being afraid of the shadows in the cave? Can you go into the light and step out where it's bright? That means can you have visibility? Can you trust you? Can you consciously create without being told by somebody outside of you that this is the way? But the hero's journey, what the Bible's about, astrology and the hero's journey, is to get out of the animal mind and be the leader, embody the Christ within you. Her teachings, again, they went from external light body mechanics. This is not a great example of her light body mechanics. And she does a fucking fantastic job of breaking down everything and going into internal mechanics, which is about your fascia. That's where she's at now. Well, I mean, she's a little bit beyond this. This is like Tantri Aura teachings and KDDL too. She channels. She's channeling still to this day. Bless her soul. But it went into Keylontics, she got divorced Not that I need to put her shit out there on blast with so much respect. I really don't want to disrespect her. But she did get divorced and she had to rename all of her stuff. And she even lost rights to the Keylontic Science. Yeah. She can't even resell it. So you got to find somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. That has all of this work. I mean, you can still get like all the Tantriora teachings, which was Shift Masters, but after the divorce became Tantriora. And then the Tantriora teachings are all about internal mechanics. It was about your muscles, your fascia, your tissues, and the elemental. And that's where she's at, is the elemental, because that's the internal mechanics. Because like I said earlier in the live, you have, this is all esoterically known. The Earth is a fourth ray planet, right? And that is the mineral, the vegetable, the animal, and man, lower mind. And then once these are integrated, but these are the foundations, the four, the square, okay? The four foundations, okay? Mineral, vegetable, animal, and then man. All of those make up man. And then it's for us, which is the fifth element, which is the stellar or angelic aspect of Christ light descending, or grace descending, or Sophia descending, Christ Sophia descending into the body, which is an evolution to evolve on your own, and an involution of higher light descending down and meeting you, or grace meeting you to evolve. To evolve. That's the fifth element, to become the star, the ether. That's the fifth. And that's what Earth is doing. So it's going, again, from having the heart open, broken, to grow and to evolve with a renewed heart, a renewed sense of self, the true self, the whole self, not just the lower individuated self, but the whole self, and the activation, the restoration of the ether body, which is, again, the fullness of the toroidal mechanics not being fucked with, because we're in coherence, the cells, we're not fighting each other in here. We're in coherence with who we are, where we are, what we're doing. We know what we are. And again, this is becoming the seventh root race to become the angelic or the celestial human, which is the stellar, to embody, like again, the sixth initiation is to imbibe the second aspect of the Trinity, which is the Christ, to take in, to imbibe, to take in the Christ. Sixth initiation, Christ consciousness. And then you have seventh, eighth, and ninth initiations within that. And that ninth initiation, the final planetary initiation, is the body of glory, the rainbow body. And then that's when this bitch, the Earth, the whole energy field, but we have to do it first. We have to take in the Christ to become the solar being. And then we go through the seventh initiation, which is ordination or co-ordination. It's ordained, to be ordained. And then the eighth initiation is sanctification, to sanctify, okay, yourself within, so you orient yourself, you start to lead, teach, guide, mastery, okay? And then you're sanctified within yourself, and then body of glory comes next. That's the ninth initiation. That's rainbow body. And that's the fullness of where you become a semi-etheric being. And Judgment Day is about that. That's when we as a collective, when all of us that are on this path, attain rainbow body. And then this plane, the heart, it absolves the lower chakras, the lower centers. These lower centers absolve or dissolve. All things go back from where it came. That's all you got to think of is if you fill a bathtub with water and then you drain it, all the water goes back down the drain. All the energy goes back into here, back into the center. And that's why it's called the one point, or a stillness. There's many names for it, but we return to the one point. We return to stillness, to the mother, to the void, And in your individual journey, you cannot imbibe the Christ until you've gone into the void and you return to that stillness, that one point within you. All right, so her teachings went from light body to plasma body techniques. And the plasma body in these teachings is all about your inner fascial layers, okay, your muscular, your fascial, your tissues, activating the ether body from within. We're not trying to do anything outside of us anymore. It's not about looking outside of ourselves. Oh, aliens of a different dimension, let me slob on your fucking invisible knob. Blah, blah, blah. No, we're not trying to have any external authorities anymore. It's not about escaping. It's about embodiment. That's the seventh root race, is to embody it all, to absolve. You are the 0 point. You are the void. You are the stillness. All things come back to you. There is nothing outside of you. And so the inner fascial layers connect to the elemental templating within your body, within the base blueprint of your personal standing scalar wave expression. I'm loving that you love this. And so each one of the fascial layers connect to the atmospheric layers. Okay? And again, she's got her own language for it, because if she didn't, she'd be hit left and right by copyright and science, peer-reviewed, dick suck, 3D people. Okay? So spirit, or her spirit guides, gave her a whole dictionary. You don't have to learn it. It makes no difference. It's funny though. It's cute. Anyways, so your core crystal, it connects you to the inner embodied. I'll read it out to you guys. Okay, your core crystal, which is again this green. I have a bigger one on the back of my door, but this green right here. See that green? See that green? Okay, cool. So that is your density 1 incarnate mind. Again, that's going to connect you to specific. Where's the other one? Damn it, I had a better one. Where is it at? Oh, there it is. Density 1. Okay, this is density 1. Where you're seeing this line right here that cuts through, and you just see 1, 2, 3. That's density 1. So it's dimensions 1, 2, and 3. Density 2 is dimensions 4, 5, and 6. Density 3 is dimensions 7, 8, and 9. Density 5 is dimensions 10, 11, and 12. And then density beyond that is the primal light and sound fields. Okay? So all of our systems work cohesively together. All right? I'm just demystifying the duality. That's all that I'm doing. And I'm trying to get the people that are, that might be like, well, what do you mean, Metatron? It's all relative. It's all purposeful. It's all for reason. Okay? Phi ratio was to have a fractal reality, to have a fractal experience, an individuated experience. But what are we doing now? We're going back to the whole self, the return to the whole self, that one point. Go out, it's exhale, or inhale, and exhale. We return to the self, wholeness. That's what embodiment is. It's wholeness. Do you see how the bigger picture works together? Please, what is the title of this subject? This is, what did I title it? It'll be replay on my YouTube channel. I don't know what I titled it. It's something synthesis. The system synthesis, something like that. I am like the sun. I am Christed. I have imbibed the Christ. Oh, for sure. I have gone through my 6th initiation. No doubt. I am living in my genius, for sure. And it's all right. Anyways, but it's not about me. I'm here to help. I'm here to teach and to guide. I'm a guide. All right. Because what I do for me, I gotta go down like the bodhisattva and go teach at the bottom of the tree. Okay. And so I'm just here teaching. It was a great question. I saw that. Can you answer the question? How do you feel? Which density you're in? Well, your light body activation is like saying your light quotient. And so if you still are having a lot of shadow consciousness, like a lot of patterns that are repeating, and your life isn't going the way that you desire it, like it isn't full of peace and an abundance of time and opportunities. It's not what your ego wants. Okay. But the density, or like when you're working with, when you're operating from density 1, you're within her blueprint here. You're operating from, Stargate or parallel Earth. You're working with inner Earth and Venus. Okay. With Venus. And that's, again, her orientation of what planets are doing what. Okay. But density 1 is is the physical reality. It's physical. Okay. And you're in the physical. So we're all dealing with density 1 right now until we're collectively, coherently at a 5th dimensional consciousness, and the light in our DNA is flickering at a very high oscillation rate. If it's flickering quickly, then we have more light, more radiance, more quotient. Okay, more impact in our aura. Okay. And you'll be operating through like the sun, which is the 5th dimension, and Alcyon, the Pleiades. You'll be dealing with your Pleiadian, and then that's the 5th dimension, and which is 2nd density. Okay, 4, 5, and 6 are 2nd density. So sun, Pleiades, Alcyon specifically. That's where the sun's at right now, to be real, in sidereal astrology. And Gene Key 8, line 5, tomorrow line 6. So it's right there on the edge of the precipice. It's in alignment. The sun right now currently is in alignment with the Alcyon, the Pleiades. And then the 6th dimension is Sirius. Okay, and that's Procyon, Sirius A. Procyon is, I think it's Canis Minor. I'm pretty sure it's Canis Minor. It could be Canis Major. Pretty sure it's Canis Minor though. And planetarily wise, the galactic aspect to that would be Jupiter. Tara, Tiamat. So she's delusional too with Tiamat. Tiamat was a planet. It wasn't a fucking planet. Tiamat is the Sumerian name for the primordial goddess. Tiamat is a primordial goddess. So there's a lot of lore and fiction and suggestive bullshit that's in there. But a good book to get for anybody that wants to know that is The Woman's Dictionary of Symbols and Sacred Objects. Okay, this book right here. Namu, where's it at? Namu. ING flowers. Fuck. It should be pinned in my book. Did I turn? Is it this one? No, it wasn't this one. It was my other book. I'm sorry. Let me get that back. The Woman's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets. So, shit. Either way, it's a Sumerian. It's in here. Isis, Namu. It was under names. Tiamat. Either way, I'm not gonna keep looking for it, but it's in one of these books. So Tiamat is a Sumerian name for the goddess, the primordial goddess. So was Namu in AMMU. All right. So again, what she's put out is a lot of Lord of the Rings. A lot of Lord of the Rings, okay? So it's about understanding and taking what resonates and letting go of all of the who's it's and what's it's galore in between. All right? The purpose of her work is to understand that things are bigger, okay? And ultimately what we're doing is we're going from the out to the in. And that's what really matters, is understanding how all is interconnected. And like we're all interconnected, okay? And all teachings are interconnected to an extent. There's a purpose for it. We may not like the Abrahamic religions, but if you put the Hebrew or the Jewish, the Talmud, whatever the fuck it's called, sorry, I didn't say it right, and you put the Quran and the Bible together, you're going to get a complete saga. You'll get a complete saga, okay? Instead of just a piece and a piece and a piece, all right? And so that's life in general. It's like I was saying earlier, whenever you're going into esoterics, you don't just, you know, you got to have like Helena Blavatsky, Alice Bailey, Manly P. Hall's work, you know, and then you can, like Richard Rudd, his work, The Gene Keys, is like foreplay. But to get deeper into his, like if you're reading The Gene Keys, to get more depth and awareness about some of the shit that he alludes to, if you just read Manly P. Hall's work, and Manly P. Hall is going to, you know, allude to, you know, esoteric teachings by Alice Bailey and Helena Blavatsky. So, you know, and then Alice Bailey is going to put you on towards the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads and the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, because they all work together, you know. So again, all systems connect, and that's what I'm doing. That's what synthesis is. Okay, so like I said, we're going to go back to this. I know we jumped. We're talking about densities, okay? Density is mineral density, and until we're like collectively experiencing fully the fifth dimensional state of consciousness, we're still in this what we call physical body. You know, even if you imbibe the Christ consciousness, you're still in this physical body. You've just been crucified and you've been born again. You've unlocked the cube. Then you got to wait for the cities to fully bloom in you, all of them. And then when you hit that acidic state of frequency and you sustain it through the 7th initiation, the 8th initiation, then you'll get rainbow body of glory, which is the full transfiguration of the form, which is what Iyasha's work is all about, especially in KDDL 2, or what ended up from Shift Masters becoming KDDL 2 teachings. Okay. And then that's where we get like, again, fascia body networking, atmosphere, connect to the fascia, which connects to the densities. Okay. Which connects to your cells. That's what the hell she's showing you here is a cell. She goes all the way into the cellular structures, ultimately. Okay. And so because the cellular structure, like I've talked about in my work before, Walter Russell's work, I've quoted the seed. Which one is it? I'm pretty sure it's this one, but I won't quote myself. Don't ever say I don't love you guys. Either way, the seed atom of carbon is helium. I'm trying to look for my doodle noodle of it. Aha, there it is. Hee. Ugh. Oh, ouch. Fucking nail. Okay, there you go. Carbon cosmic seed is helium. Woohoo! Carbon cosmic seed. And what were we? Or carbon. Or carbon. That 2% codable DNA is carbon. It's your carbon imprint, your carbon blueprint. And the seed of carbon is helium. Helios, the sun. Helios. Okay? And so awakening the seed the seed atom, and the seed atom structures pertain to gases, inert gases, noble gases, which is the third state of matter, right? So the fourth state of matter is plasma, which is what all this blue is up here, is your plasma radiating from internally, but externally, known as your flame body. Flame on! Flame body. Okay, the third state of matter is gas. The second state of matter is liquid. Okay, and then it's solid, mineral. Mineral, 1, 2, liquid, 2, gas, 3, plasma, 4. 4 states of matter. And then beyond that is etheric, fully etheric. Plasma is your semi-etheric body. There's a little bit of matter, because you matter. The alma mater. That was another thing. Alma mater is another word for the cosmic mother. I was like, holy shit, in high school you have an alma mater. You know what I mean? Anyways, sorry, side note. I love to learn. You guys like learning? Thank you guys all for the likes. Thank you for whoever is tapping at 53,100 likes. Thank you so much. You flamer. I know. 244 people in the live. Holy, 245. That's amazing. Thank you guys all for listening. How are you liking it? I'm sure you're like, I wish I could just fucking text something and ask questions. I should do a Q&A another day. We love you. I love you. Thank you guys all for being here and listening. Holy shit, 286. That's just jumped. Dang, let's get, oh shit, hey. Thank you so much for the gift. Yay, we hit 54,000 likes. Let's get that up to 60K. Come on, let's see if we can get it to 60K. At least 100K. Come on, we got 326 people in the live. Let's get that up to 100,000 likes. Come on, y'all. I'm not asking for all these gifts. I'm just asking for you to tap the screen. That's it. Just tap the screen. Engage. Appreciate that. I want to come as a guest to talk to you. Not in this live. I'm going to have this as a replay so that people can go back to it and, get the cohesive flow. I'm loving it. I love it, Tasha. I'm glad that you're enjoying this. I want people to be able to get the cohesive flow. I will definitely do another live for Q&A and just like I said, we can go into sections and dive in. I mean, obviously I'll share those on YouTube as well. So I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. If you guys could please go over to my YouTube channel and subscribe, that'd be wonderful. I'm almost at 2,000 people there. Again, monetization is all I'm asking for. I'm not saying you have the book or anything with me like that, but watch my content, help me get monetized, all that stuff. That's fantastic. I appreciate that. That helps me out. Okay, without having to, donate and stuff like that. Just your time. I'm sharing my time. That's what I appreciate. Cosmic Lounge Hangout. Awesome. Thank you guys all for subscribing. Thank you. Yeah, Cosmic Lounge Hangout is in order. Okay, so the internal body. Okay, and then how that expresses in the many atmospheric layers, because we are an atom. We are literally an atom, a cell within a cell within a cell. It's a cosmic being. It's a multi-organism, right? But all is mind. But the mind aspect is like the neurosynapses, okay? And how the cellular organism is structured. And really, everything is 99.999999999% space, according to quantum physics, okay? So all is space. All is the womb. All is feminine. It is space, except for that tiny, itty-bitty bit of light. And that's what we are, and that's the Christ, the body of Christ. We are the experience. We are the Christ. We are living in that. Well, once we become Christed with it, but that's what we're here to do. That's what the seventh root race is, and that's what we are, is the angelic beings. And then we end the human experience of separation and individuation and the form, and we return to our celestial form, which is the angelic orb. The angelic orb, or plasmoid beings that we're seeing in the atmosphere, the phenomenon, which is us visiting ourselves. Yes, that's what the external reality is showing you. So don't fall for the coup on the main stage with all the characters and the alien. Anything that needs a craft, that isn't a Merkaba or a light body or a plasmoid, anything that needs a craft is earthbound. Don't forget about genetic hybridization programs. Yes, where they would take animals and they would inject animals with human DNA to create hybridized species. Well, they did that with insectoids. They did that with lizards. They did that with humans too. Okay? And they live underground. Okay? Because they don't have the resonance to fully exist in the hologram. Animals, they have a certain resonance, but they didn't have a level of consciousness. But through mass hybridizations and mutations, that's what created these abominations. They're not alien. They're just abominations. And they live in internal creation inside the earth, the layers. They're not from outer space. That's us. Anything that is from higher dimensions has to have a Merkaba. And not just like a base human carbon-based Merkaba. You've got to go through the transfiguration process, genetic acceleration process to have a, a diamond crystal body. And that's what her teachings go into. So, and that's the many layers to the Keylontic science, okay? And that's like where all of her, that's not really a great one. Yeah, this is a better one to give an awareness. Yeah. So let me turn this around. Thank you guys all for liking. We're at 60,000. Yes. Thank you for tapping the screen. So much appreciation there. Okay. So this essentially are different geometries. Okay. So you're having what she calls the universal single biveka Merkaba. Okay. Merkaba mechanics. But in order to activate these Merkabas, you got to go in. You got to go fully in. Get to know yourself and activate all of these different layers of your light body. Light body. That means alchemizing your light body, your planetary structure. Okay. And then obviously doing the somatic work. Okay. And nervous system reset and somatic work. Okay. It's not about channeling interdimensional galactic fuckeration or anything like that. Nothing outside of you. Source is what you are ultimately wanting to have a connection with it. That's it. Like you can connect to your interdimensional aspects. You can connect to the Pleiades and Sirius and Arcturus and all the Andromedas and Mintakas and Orions and all the things. That's fine. But once you're like, I am only channeling, no, you are under MK Ultra. And you have disembodied. You become a host for the ghosts and entities and principalities of darkness, bitches. All right. It's about connecting to source. How do you know? Source. You know, like even archangels, those were the Christian reign names for the planets. Just like every other fucking epoch has given the planets a different name. The Christ reign did it too. And then they went as far as giving the disciples, which are the zodiac, names and positions and attributes and psychology. You know, we operated differently. But anyways, archangels, okay, or the angels are the planets, the fallen angels. And Enoch was a perfected man. Spirit, he represents the spiritual man. Moses represents the mind. You need to read How to Understand Your Bible by Manly P. Hall. The Bible is a Masonic text. All right, anyways. So again, her work dives deeply into Merkaba mechanics, which have to do with, again, the restructuring. It's sacred geometry. Her geometry focuses on the doubling sequence. We see a lot of sacred geometry in the reality that's about the fractal, the phi, the Fibonacci sequence, or the phi ratio, the Fibonacci, the golden spiral, all that. But her work is specifically, she's created geometries to represent, the doubling sequence, which is our DNA. Okay, our DNA is the doubling sequence. Here's one of her images. This one is the Lotum activation. Dawat and Danawa. I can't. But anyways, it's really cute. Okay, this is a Merkaba. You can see it. This is the Merkaba. There's a Merkaba here in this. Okay, and they're all made, again, it's magic squares. In geometry, we have those papers with the little micro squares on it. You make fucking circles 2, 4, 8, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, so on, so on, so on, so on, so on, so on, so on. You're gonna make like different geometries. And the same with the Fibonacci sequence of the golden ratio. That's the 1 and the 2. So 1 square, then 2 squares, then 3 squares, then 5 squares over, and then 8 squares over. Okay, and then 8 plus 5, and then 13 squares over. And you're gonna get different geometries, different ratios. That's it. They're not dueling. It's just a fractal. And anyways, the cube consciousness that we exist within, one more time for people that are new, the cube consciousness to which we exist within is based on the doubling sequence. Your DNA is based on the doubling sequence, which they call the Christ spiral. But at the cube, being cube, the 256 qubits of the cube, okay, that's not the tesseract, which is what the Mayans teach. The Mayans go deep into the tesseract, which is your 4th dimensional cube, visual of the 4th dimensional cube, which is what the tesseract is. It's activating and awakening the more of the genetics from within, because it's opening the heart. Oh, wait, I have that up. Opening the heart. And again, you can get the Mayan teachings and you can dive into that to understand. Let me give you a visual. Different. This is the 441. Okay, you've seen this, the 441. Again, this is the representation of that tesseract. Sorry, the tesseract. Okay, so again, we have the 256 qubits. That's your first temple. Okay, then you're building the second temple, which is the 4th dimension of the cube, 4-dimensional cube with the extra vertices, with the extra angles of light in there. Okay, that's building Solomon's temple, which is amplifying, or like really truly just activating the temple within the Godhead within. And then that's what the Mayans, okay, I have it mirrored. So that's what their qubits is all about. That's where this comes from. So was, the zodiac the way that the Christians did it in the Bible, like 100? No, actually, the more advanced civilization was the end of the 6th root race, which were the Mayans. And they weren't just in the Yucatan. They were all over. Anyways, and so that's that. And then you can download more. No, that's not it. This is it, though. This one is. You can download more in depth. This is the almanac. People are wondering what this is. I have the link for this in my bio. Okay, it's a 13-moon almanac. We're almost at the day out of time in the Mayan calendar. So you're going to have to get the next one. You don't want to order this one because like July 25th is the last day. So what's the point of having it? But you can get this at the lawoftime.org. Lawoftime.org. And it teaches you all about how to read the Mayan and all that stuff. And it's very advanced. It's more advanced than your base-ass astrology, although that's useful too. Basic astrology, the astrology with the, how people do it, the Western astrology and all that. Not tropical. That's a fucking mathematical calculation. Sidereal is a mathematical calculation. Tropical is a mathematical calculation. Sidereal is a mathematical calculation. Interpretation style is what we call Western psychology. Western psychology, Western. Okay, tropical is mathematics, sidereal mathematics. Vedic is an interpretation style. Western is an interpretation style, East and West. Okay. But Mayans, you know, there is a whole different lore behind this. But like I said, you can download the Hollow Mind Perceiver Index. Okay. You can download the Hollow Mind Perceiver Index, and you'll go into greater depth and understanding of what each one of the, so you'll have vertical and horizontal, V and H. V and H, okay? Ninth timed matrix. You'll see where it says V8, H8, vertical and horizontal. And then it has a number where they meet. And that's like 13. And that one says, this one right here in the corner says, sorry, I've got it mirrored so you guys can see it. It's fucked me up. It's 405, right? 13, 405. But that's going to be vertical 8, horizontal 8. Okay, and so on certain days in the activation cycle, that'll be lit up. And so you'll go to that 81, 113, dimensions, hyperplasmic DNA. Where is it located? So I can just show you guys really quickly. 62, 37. Oh yeah. 7th mental sphere, hollow perceiver mind. 9th time dimension, inner core time 7. And this one is gate 113. Specifically gate 113. And then it tells you here in the hollow perceiver mind. And it's the 7th mental sphere, hollow perceiver. Okay, understand? So you just follow the fucking guidance, and then you can get in depth in understanding the Solomon's Temple, which is the expanded state of consciousness, or the tesseract. Or whenever you take a cube and you see it from a 4th dimensional lens, which is, again, seeing more layers of consciousness, or the qubits. You're getting more qubits of consciousness. So from the 256, which again is a doubling. It continues to double itself. That's the doubling sequence. And that, again, is the DNA, the base 64, which is what the amino acids protein structure of the DNA is based on. It gets up to the 64 codes, but that's an 8x8. That's just an 8x8. There's also the 9x9, which is the 81, which is what is really left out of the I Ching. It's not talked about enough. But we got to start somewhere, okay? Within codes of consciousness. Okay. So what's Iyasha's work really, really good for? Visual context, understanding like the L, at this point, KDDL2, she's talking, KDDL2, she's not talking about KDDL2 stuff anymore. She's gone elemental. So internal creation mechanics is where she's at. So she started out as light body mechanics and then went all the way into internal body mechanics. And now I think she's out there, like she definitely still makes content. I just haven't watched her stuff since 2022. I think that was the last thing that I watched, which was KDDL3. Which KDDL2 workbook was fine. I didn't need KDDL3. But yeah, her work, essentially this is like where you're learning about, again, we've already seen like the light body mechanics, and then it talks about, you know, the plasma body, which again, we did discuss that today. Plasma body, what it ends up when it flowers. You hear about your plasma body flowering, your plasma flowering, okay? And then your flame body, or the Elysian body here. This is a better image of that. Give me a second. Let me put some of these up. Yeah. This is the Eliza anchoring the eternal flame, the flame body image. It's just image. This is the helioplasmic, again, plasma body mechanics. So she calls it plasmic, heliotalic, helio, sun, plasma sun. When we get a fifth dimensional sun, it is a plasma. It's a fully white, the white sun. We're operating through the great spiritual sun, which is the Pleiades, which is why it represents the fifth dimension and second density. Okay, it's Alcyon. That is our spiritual sun. That is even esoterics. That is esoterics. So Alcyon is the spiritual sun. And so the fifth dimensional sun emanates a helioplasmic frequency, pastel, okay, beyond the RBG or your local spectrum, right? Light spectrum. You're in the helioplasmic spectrum or the plasma spectrum. Okay, it's more iridescence, lighter light, lighter pigmentation, not such depth of pigmentation, because mineral is what creates the depth. When you don't have as much mineral and you're dealing with gas, just like whenever you spill gas on the ground, you get gas or like on the ground, and you can see that rainbow hue to it, okay? Because it's oxidizing with the heat, creating a gas, and the gas has an iridescent look, just like, you know, the fluorescent lights that we used to have in our schools, that you'll see, like, you know, in Las Vegas. That's neon. It's a gas, but the fluorescence or argon is what they used to have in regular Edison lights. It was an argon gas in the light bulb. And whenever you turn the light, the electricity on, which is a charge, which is like, it stimulates the gas, the plasma, it gets stimulated and it emanates a light. So you had neon, you have krypton, you have xeon. I think I said argon already. Okay, so you have different, iridescence, right? You have and then you can mix the gases together and it creates different light. And that's the helioplasmic light, okay, that our fifth dimensional sun, Sirius, and all of the second density operates from. Okay. All right. All right. So her teachings are very valuable. They are very valuable. I adore her. I adore all of my teachers. I would not be where I'm at if I didn't have all these teachers, if I didn't study and, you know, tune in, tap into all of this. But what I do not condone are people that channel and alien and gray and all that shit. Those are MK Ultra people that sold out. I don't give a fuck how big their following is. I don't give a fuck if their words have helped you. They are channeling abominations. I know. That's my judgment. It doesn't have to be yours, but that's where I'm at. I get pissed off for people I'm a mom. Like I get mama bear, okay? I get pissed off when people are misleading people. And you know what? Yes, Eosha's shit is off. Like, that's what I'm coming here live talking about, the dueling spirals and the daisies of death and all that fucking... You're going to run reversals and be in the Metatronic. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Stop. Stop it. Okay? Anything that's running a reversal is a shadow state of consciousness. Okay? So you guys are all my brothers and sisters. We're you know what I mean? You're all an expression of the one. So like, I am the oldest daughter. I am a mom, and I just hate to see people getting misguided. And I know I can't control everything, and this is kind of like, but I'm trying to synthesize. I'm trying to do my part by sharing unity. I'm just trying to share what I've learned over the last decade through my own journey and cognitive, like going through all the spiritual fucking wormholes and ins and outs and ups and downs. Okay. So yeah, pure heart. Yeah. I'm still fiery. Okay. And ornery. I'm not perfect. Okay. But yeah, pure intentions. Right. So, and I know what it's like to get like kicked out of groups and go into cults and, you know, and not fit into that either. You know, and that's fine because I'm exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, you know, and I deserve the best. I do. I have an amazing life. It's very peaceful. It's very peaceful, and I have everything that I need whenever I need it. Like I live a very benevolent life. It wasn't always like this, and I had to make a lot of hard decisions. You know, I had to do the hard things. I had to disconnect from people that I learned were betraying me or had jealousy or envy or whatever. I mean, I've had to make hard decisions. I've had to cut cords. I've had to drop bad habits. I've had to recognize my own bad habits and, you know, still grow. Like I have gone through the whole human experience. I'm still going through the human experience. We all are. So, anyways, ultimately, I wanted to show you guys the last picture. This will probably be the last thing before I close it up. It's like, it's 7:08. Oh my God, it's 1908. That's the time I was born. I'm reborn. Yeah, 1908. That was my time of birth. That's so funny. I just looked at the time. That's so funny. I rarely do that. That's cool. And I'm looking at the diamond sun body. Oh shit. Thank you, Spirit. That was great. Oh, bling, bling, bling. I know, that'd be cool. Thank you for the bling. I even said it, bling, bling, bling. Thank you for the bling. Beautiful love. All right, so this is the 5 diamond sun crystal bodies of the Particum, Loti, Kathara body, and the 6th through 15th sun. That's really what matters, the 6th through the 15th sun. Okay, so this is the diamond sun body. So when you hear people talk about the diamond sun, or you come across, you know, some specific people that talk about Keylontic science all the time, when he's talking about the diamond sun body, this is what they're referencing. Okay. Okay. So this is you in the center. This is you in the center. Okay. Here. And these are all of the mini fractals. Think of the diamond, right? Has all of those facets. These are all the facets of you. So your Merkaba goes from that little itty bitty Merkaba. Well, this is the Christ star body. It goes from that itty bitty little, you know, upward triangle, downward triangle, you know, your typical Merkaba visual, right? To this motherfucker. I'm upside down. To this. No, that was right side up. Either way, your diamond sun body. And then this is your Christ star ascension capsule, which is your dark matter templating. And this is where you see like the diamond, and it's the diamond look here. But she's got every aspect of, you know, what the body goes through and the different shapes as we progress in the human. You know, this KDDL2 is about the pulse waves that we're seeing, the Schumann resonance, how it blacks out, gets white out. We're like, oh yeah, it's the sun shooting out CMEs. It's not the sun shooting out CMEs. I fucking hate to tell you, the sun is local. The sun is local. That might piss some people off. The sun is local. And if it was shitting out fucking CMEs, people here in Florida and Costa Rica, you know, South America, we'd be fucking dead. Dead. Dynamited dead. There is no happenings on the sun. What you see from space weather broadcasting is computer generated imagery. Okay, CGI. The sun is not shitting out nothing. Not a fucking thing. Never has, never will. What's happening, I don't know why we're getting on it, but we're getting on it. Oh my Moses. Oh, I just unplugged I have 91%, it's fine. Okay. Oh my Moses. Oh yeah, this was your regular Merkaba. Basic Merkaba. That's your Metatron's cube, right? The basic Merkaba Metatron's cube turns into the diamond sun body. What was I talking about now? Shit. Oh yeah, CMEs. I need something to point at. Coronal mass ejections are not coming from the sun. The sun is our consciousness. If it raises, that's because we've become self-aware. Here we go. Internal. In the sun. Inside the toroidal plane. Inside the plane of inertia. That plane of inertia our planet, our plane of inertia. That center point, that black sun, okay, that's where pulses. Black hole sun, won't you come wash away the pain? Black hole sun, because they know nothing, okay, they know. So the black sun is pulsating out more energy. Your internal sun, internal creation is pulsing out frequency, okay? And that is what the KDDL teachings are, is this upside down? Yes, are teaching, okay? She's talking about the fire and ice, okay? So you're getting, which makes the ultraviolet light. So she's talking about internal, everything is like light inside, okay? So even in here, everything is light. It's all in here, but it's light that's frozen. So what happens whenever shit gets melted, right? It moves. The river can flow again, okay? So what we've been dealing with is frozen light. Because guess what? The North Pole, everything that surrounds the center is frozen. It's fucking frozen. Let it go. Let it go. Yeah. Frozen. So it's melting. Oh my God, the glaciers at the north are melting. This is gonna cause us to have mass flooding. Get it? Got it? Get it? So this is de-thawing. So inside is de-thawing. So we're getting pulse waves. So the light within us is melting. It's going from being frozen, which means it's not pulsing. It's just dark, to pulsing. And pulsing. And creating more light. More radiance. And then that's where you're going to have the solar flash come out. Ain't the motherfucking sun going to go be, there's a solar flash. Die, motherfuckers. No. It's the internal sun that comes radiating out auroras, lights from within. You crack like a glow stick. We crack like a glow stick. And more magnetism, more light, more plasma becomes available in the morphogenetic field to which we are swimming within. The electrical waves. Sunshine. And that's essentially what her Keylontic channelings is about. Not in those terms. That's not what she's going to tell you. She's going to have her own little Keylontic language for it. But I'll tell you what it is. Because I synthesize. And I'm tuned in, tapped in on my own motherfucking levels anyways. But true, need to melt. Yeah, we're melting. We're melting. The North Pole is melting. Yeah. Well, when we're in harmony, the whole fucking realm didn't have snow. We don't need it. We don't need it. That's bullshit. That's just the last like couple thousand years. Look at the maps of 1500s. There's not even ice. Not even ice in the 1500s. Come on, meow. But we froze. We went into a coma, right? Like Captain America? Captain America, right? In the Marvel movies, Captain America, he goes cryo, frozen, and then he comes up and out and he's like, whoa, what happened to the world? Yeah, like that. We go cryo. We freeze the cells. But then they get awakened. And that creates more electricity and conductivity. And that light from within, the black sun, starts emanating out more auroras, but that's just plasma. It's different, like the different colors of the different gases in the atmosphere. Noble, neon, krypton, blah, 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 blah. Argon, xeon. There's more. They're not coming to the top of my head. But you can go look them up. Go Google it. Different colors. Okay? When they're charged. When they've got volts of energy, plasma, igniting it. Ting, 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 ting. Then it lights up. He said, marry me. No. Never again. I don't even date. I tried that already. That failed epically. Not epic, but it didn't work. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I think that I shouldn't have said that online. Why did I say that out loud? Fuck. Oh, well, whatever. This is for the recording. Now I have Nigerian here, adorable. No. All right. I don't know if Nan's in here anymore. Time shift, templates, Crystal River, all the stuff. Yeah, I mean, check me out. This is going to be posted to my page, my YouTube. I'm pretty done channeling for the day. Synthesizing. I just wanted to bring some. Oh, you are here. Good. Thank you. I just wanted to synthesize some of these teachings so that we can get out of, to whom it may concern, to get out of the distortion of Metatron and Christic teachings and out of duality and get the bigger picture of what it is that we're doing here, what we are as cells, in a greater body and a heart chakra of a cosmic being, that which we are, which is also connected to like other cosmic selves, because it's a Russian doll within a Russian doll within a Russian doll. Thank you so much for all the love. You've been hooking it up tonight. Thank you so much for all the love. 100K, shit, yeah, we made it today. Woohoo! Peace, love, and conscious light to this collective. Yes, thank you, Collect Dragon. Thank you, Dragon Whisperer. Absolutely love this collective. Love this whole fam. We're all connected. You all were drawn in. Thank you all for spending your time with me and listening to me. Us, maybe the voice box of this. I hope you found it insightful, enlightening, and if not, anything else, entertaining. And such a great time. I'm so glad that you enjoyed this. She is magic. I'm doing good. Are you talking to me? I am doing well. I'm going to go eat though. It's 1919. Oh yeah. And I was born. Oh, remember I saw that earlier with the sun. Oh, it's coming. Black holes. Well, obviously it's always coming. It's already happening. It's already happened. That's the thing. It's already happened. We live in an a-causal event, right? In the beginning, and then God rests on the seventh day. Everything was done. We're just living it. We're just a happening, like Alan Watts says, we're just a happening. And so I hope that this brought the happening a little more cognizance and, whatever level you're at, really it's about focusing on your shadow work and getting your cellular structure up to par. So I highly suggest doing getting the gene keys, at least to read the 64 codes of consciousness. I know I offered a lot of different perspectives. Like I said, I've synthesized a lot of different material over the last decade to be where I'm at. This is not an overnight shift. This isn't just something that if you do enough breath work, your fucking DNA is going to activate, or if you breathe in and push out, you do some fancy ass technique that this is going to be. No. This is 10 years in this life of dedicated, motivated. And I mean, I didn't stop, couldn't stop, wouldn't stop, been teaching it. So this has been a 10-year journey for me to get here. So don't think that this is going to happen overnight. Although the consciousness field is a lot more coherent than it was when I began my journey. And so you could quicken. And again, this isn't my first life doing this. This is many lifetimes, and I've already had Kundalini activations. I'm already operating through higher strands of I'm operating from higher strands of DNA anyways. So I'm not saying it's without reach, but don't ever compare your journey to my journey. We're all here for different reasons. This is part of my coding. I have the codes for this, okay, and the planetary alignments for this. And if you're curious about what yours are, you can always go to my website and look at scheduling a cosmic blueprint with me. But nonetheless, do get your gene keys. We have to create the foundations. The foundations are what matter. Your emotions, your energy and motion is what matters. Comprehension is super valuable. Everything I laid out today is really valuable. Because it helps you get a bigger picture and get out of the delusion and the loops and I understand seeking is part of the journey, but what I'm offering you is a synthesis so that you don't have to drown in those rabbit holes. Okay. You can be like Alice and you can go take some tea and have the time of your life with the Mad Hatter, but don't get destroyed by the Queen. Okay. And her knights. All right, that's what I'm saying. You can go down the rabbit hole, Alice, but remember to come back. And I'm just offering you an opportunity to come back. Okay, and the greatest work that you're going to do is your emotional maturity, your intellectual maturity. It is in your relationships. It is the most mundane thing, which is the human experience, and giving yourself new experiences, not just focusing on your shadows and your what you think is wrong with you. It's really just recognizing the pattern and choosing to respond differently, even to yourself, to your beliefs, to your whatever limitations you might have. Don't be delusional, like trying to be like out of this body and escaping the matrix. The matrix it means womb. It's the mother. It's the programming. It is just to wake up to being a conscious being and not a fucking NPC, which means that you're operating from unconscious behaviors, patterns, and belief systems. And the key to that is going into your gene keys, getting the gene keys, understanding the human condition, the psychological foundation, which is your energy in motion, and knowing where your energy is going and choosing to live in the gift that one day the city, the flower, the plasmas will bloom within you, the plasma body. Okay? Yes. And thank you for bringing that up. She is magic. So if you're trying to spiritually bypass or ayahuasca your way out of this, or, psilocybin is fantastic for helping to reprogram the neuroplasticity of the brain, your neurological synapses. I definitely did that for 2 years, healing from PTSD and being raped multiple times, and healing from a lot of brain trauma. So I do suggest, if that's something, it's a healing journey, but I'm just saying, if you think that you're going to ayahuasca your way out of it, or if you're just going to your emotional state really matters. And if you just try to spiritually bypass it, love, light, and clueless shit, I'm just going to, manifest my way, or law of attraction or law of assumption. No, you have to have a grounded emotional maturity. Otherwise the pattern, you can be going flying high, but then, your magic carpet ride, your carpet gets pulled out from underneath you. Okay. So your patterns will repeat. It is a reprogramming of the subconscious. Okay. And that takes, minimum 7 years. So you get 7 years from coming out the birth canal to 7 years old, the first 7-year cycle, spirit into matter. You're getting programmed with social cultural condition. It takes about 7 years to decondition from the social cultural conditioning. Okay. And that's like, if you're really consistent with it. And that doesn't mean that you don't live your life. And like I said earlier, your mind doesn't know the difference if it's actually happening and if it's not. So if something goes array and you recognize a pattern, but you don't want to have to play that pattern out again, then you can play it out in your mind how you would have liked the situation to go, what you would have preferred yourself to say. And then you feel it as if it is happening. And then that does reorient the pattern within it's about how energy moves through you. Okay. And your genes are the antenna, and they can either be tuned to AM radio, FM radio, or XM radio. Okay. So the AM radio is the static, where you're reactive. You're just a reactive being. Okay. The gift is whenever you're making decisions on, like, okay, that person's being an asshole, and that didn't go well for me. I'm going to stand on my boundaries. I'm not going to respond negatively. I understand. I get the lesson. I see the pattern. Okay. And I just choose to love myself, and I choose to be in a good space. I don't need to talk shit about anybody. I don't need to belittle anybody. I don't need to go down to their level. I don't need to stoop. I don't need to stalk. I don't need to do any of that shit. Okay. And then that is what you show. That is proof, you showing yourself that you have changed. And then that is the pattern changing. And then your reality will attract higher. It will attract, because it's about magnetism. It will attract higher experiences. And you will also, as energy flows through you, you will also project higher, better, more enlivened, more joyful experiences. Okay. Because you're living from a state of pronoia, not paranoia. That everything is happening for you, through you, not against you, not to you. You're not a victim. Okay, so get that Gene Keys book. Highly recommend that to understand the human condition. And then if you decide you ever want to book a session with me, I'm there. I got openings. And if you're looking for coaching, I got that too. That just requires you have a consultation with me. See if we're a match and what level of awareness that you're at. And anyways, otherwise, this will be replay on my YouTube channel. And if you're not subscribed, please go subscribe there. Thank you all today for the likes, for the 109K likes. That's freaking amazing. 385 people in the live right now. Like, what? That is amazing. That's an all-time high. And like, at least on this, since this is my second time that I've had a TikTok account, Quirky Cosmo 2.0. So, 414, look at that shit. Woohoo! So thank you guys all for enjoying today's presentation of the system synthesis. All right, with the Keylontics and the Metatronic, and getting out of duality and separation and understanding the unity, cohesiveness that we are existing within. And as we become, or embody as the seventh root race, as the star-born beings, the celestial conscious beings that we are, and we don our diamond light body. Yeah. Okay. So again, replay will be on the YouTube. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here, for your presence, for everything that you are doing in your personal life. Yo, our fractal kicks ass. Our fractal is fucking awesome. We're rock stars. I just want you guys all to know you're freaking rock stars in your own right. And I love you so much. Have a great night. And thank you for all the love and all of the gifts and all the hearts and presents. 111. I'm going to go eat dinner. 524 people into live. What? 538. Dang. And I'm about to bounce. Love you guys all. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Amberish from I couldn't say that. Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, MB. Setting records. I know, right? We are. Rainbow. Oh, look, Rainbow Records. Let me just say, the sun is in the Pleiades today. Come on, it's at Alcyon. We're at the spiritual sun. This is nothing but divine. This was nothing but divine. I'm just the medium. I'm just the channel for this. And the first 5 to message. Oh, this must be a haggler. Don't message that. Don't do that. No haggling. Come on now. Yeah, God, source did this. And again, 99.9999% space. And space is feminine. Just the feminine essence. Masculine is the light. Yeah? So it's beautiful. Have a wonderful day. I love you all. Bye.